Okay, let's talk about the dark side of Dubai. Now, a lot of people are moving out here and there are quite a few negatives about moving to the UAE. So let's go through them because I have been doing this for 3 years. I'm an accountant in the UAE and in the UK, and I'm a specialist in opening up free zone companies and mainland companies in the UAE. So let's get into it. The thing is, I would not come here if you don't have a business or a job offer before you actually move over. And the reason for that is because it's just so expensive here and the cost of living is extreme. So if you are thinking about moving, I would say at least have about 6 months worth of expenses that you can actually survive on if you do lose your job or if something happens. That's kind of like a basic rule anyway. But at the end of this video, I will go through the do's and don'ts as well. However, what I do say to a lot of people is that if you do have a family member or somebody that you know, like connections out here in the UAE, then you can make that move here or come here on a job search visa and have a look for roles out here while you potentially stay with them. The other thing is, it is not what it is on social media. So a lot of it that you see on social media is for that 5-second clip. It might not necessarily be like that for you if you were to move out here. So just bear that in mind and don't be disheartened when you come here and you don't have that lifestyle where you're driving around Lamborghinis every day, because that is not reality. My do's and don'ts about moving to the UAE potentially for you if you are thinking about it. Now, the first thing is I would get a legitimate job offer. So make sure that you've got that contract in place, you've got that start date set, and you are ready to go. I've heard a lot of people where the employers would actually pull out last minute and they've made all their moves in the UK. They've got their packing company sorted, they've told their employer that they're moving, etc. So that's a bit disheartening. So just would also definitely consider income. And the reason for this is because a lot of the jobs here aren't paying what they used to pay anymore because there's just so many people coming here. So if you are getting a job here, if you're a single person moving over here on your own, I would say 30,000 a month comfortably you can live in the UAE, like really comfortably. And if you are a family, say a family of 3 or 4, I would say around 60,000, because you have to also think about school fees and things like that. So, and a bigger space. So things like that I would definitely consider, pay being one of them. They don't just look at your passport anymore. They look at other things like qualifications, how much experience you have, etc., etc. You really do need to stand out from the crowd now because there are just so many applicants. Is if you have a family member or some networks out here. Now, it can be quite a lonely place, the UAE. So a lot of people that move out here, they get quite lonely. Even though they might have a great lifestyle, they'll be quite lonely and they want to go back. The thing is, if you are not a material person. Now, the reason why I say that is because in the UAE, everyone has money. So in the UK, it's a bit different. You've got that high and low kind of society. Now, here are my don'ts. So if you are thinking about moving, I would not move if you are just looking for work. You're kind of like slow with it. You're kind of like, I'll just stop working in the UK and move over. I wouldn't do that because the cost of living is a lot here. Now, as I spoke about before, I would have at least 6 months worth of expenses with you when you move over so that you can cover for all of that when you're here, if you don't have family and friends. But what I would highly recommend is to get that job offer before you actually arrive. Another one is if you are a single, shy female. Now, the reason why I say that is because a lot of places, and I mean males as well, if you're a single, shy male, it might not be the right place for you either. But a lot of people here have moved here to make money. A lot of things in Dubai and in the UAE are commission-based, so you will have pushy salespeople. So if you are easily manipulated and easily pushed, just be aware, because over here people will take advantage. People will. I've heard horrible stories about real estate agents, horrible stories about company formation places. Yeah, it's just, you have to be a person who has got quite a strong head and can stand up for themselves. Over here, a lot of people are scared of the police, so I would just use that to your advantage. If somebody does you wrong, just say name and number, Emirates ID, I'm going to report you to the police. And then it goes on back to my other point where it's like, if you are easily influenced with material stuff, it's probably not the best place for you to be because it's endless here. There's always something. There's always a new thing that's coming out. There's always a new place to go visit. You can spend all your pay here, and that's exactly how they've made Dubai. You earn your money tax-free, but you also spend a lot of your money tax-free. So yeah, those are my do's and don'ts. I hope this has helped. Put it in the comments below if you have any of your own that you would recommend or like, you know, share around with other people that are thinking about moving to the UAE or things that you want to think about. If you want me to do a video on it, put it in the comments.